Today we're going to make our predictions for this upcoming
Can't wait.
Premier League season.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about who we don't think is going to do very well, who we think might do quite well, maybe a couple of surprises there. Surprise is good, surprise is bad. I think I'm going to start with just the top of the table because in my eyes, it's pretty obvious. They've won it 3 times in a row. I think Manchester City are going to win the Premier League again. Dad, do you agree with me?
No.
What? Seriously?
I'm like this, really. It hurts me to say this, but I think Arsenal could do it this year.
You think they stand a chance?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Closer than what it was last season?
Yes, I do. Yeah. When we talked about the Declan Rice signing, would it make Arsenal a better team and all that? It's still a good signing.
Yes, very good signing.
You know, they have strengthened the squad. They're looking at buying the Brentford goalkeeper as well to make that position solid as well.
Because it's a ball-playing goalkeeper.
Well, he's got the best record as a ball-playing goalkeeper, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if they get him as well, with what they've bought already, I still think they're going to be a hard team to beat this season.
So you think if you had to put your money on a team right now, first place is Arsenal?
Yes, I'm going for it. I'm going for Arsenal.
Right.
It kills me saying this, and I'm wearing the white of the Spurs, but it kills me to say it.
He's a Spurs fan. Okay, moving on to then the top 4. Who's going to fill out that top 4? Maybe who's going to miss out, and the reasons why. I personally think Arsenal will be second. I think that's...
And I think Man City will be second.
Yeah, so I think we're kind of close with that. My third place, I'm going to go with Manchester United for the reason that I think, obviously, they got third place last year.
They're my third.
They've pretty much strengthened what they have. They haven't lost any first-team players. We're still far and away off Manchester City because I think it's going to cost like another 200 million to get a team worthy enough to defeat Man City.
The only difference with Man United could be Harry Kane. You haven't bought Harry Kane yet. You've bought a striker. Is he good enough? If he is,
okay.
If he isn't, you've still got the same problem. You've got a hell of a team, but no striker.
Yeah.
That's where you could fall out.
Yeah, and we're not exactly got a lot of strength in depth. Like Man City have last year when they could have played 2 11s. That's the difference, I think, between
I mean, you
the
played
72
million for this new striker.
Yeah.
Another 15 million, 20 million, you'd have had Harry Kane. Definitely.
But
I think if you've got 95... I know the age is there, but you're guaranteed 20 goals.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So outside of that, I've got a bold prediction for you now on who I think will finish 4th place. And I've got reasoning. Now, Liverpool and Newcastle, they're going to be up there for it. And I don't think this is like nailed on.
Yeah.
But my 4th place, Dad, Aston Villa. Oh, Aston Villa. They've made some good signings.
Yeah, they have. That is hell of a shout.
Yeah.
But my reason against that, they're playing in Europe. It always mucks a team up playing in Europe.
But that's why I don't think Newcastle will finish top 4.
100%. That's why Newcastle are not my top 4.
Second season syndrome.
Yeah, the first season in Europe, it's sort of like it mucks you up that Champions League. They got to be playing well. You got to play your strongest side. If you don't, you're out.
Yeah.
And they won't want that, so they'll play their strongest side, and it could affect the Saturday games.
I agree. Now, Aston Villa, the signings that they have made and the reason for it, obviously Unai Emery's been amazing for them since he come in.
Yeah, definitely.
Like since Gerrard left and Unai Emery come in.
I got a Villa fan in work, and he just said what a total difference Villa team are.
Pau Torres as a centre-back. Man United were linked with him heavily last year. Didn't make a move. They signed him really cheap as well.
Yeah.
So they got Pau Torres. Yuri Tillemans on a free transfer. Premier League
That's hell of a signing.
Yeah.
On a freebie.
Musa Diaby is like the link that they might need to get Ollie Watkins to score more. And I personally think, in my opinion, if Watkins can have a good season, goal-scoring wise, they could be in a shout for top 4.
That's where I think their weakest link is.
The striker.
The striker.
Scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
He's capable.
Oh, definitely. He's good.
Yeah.
But is he...
Yeah.
What's he going to be like in Europe against the best?
Yeah. So that's the reason why I think Newcastle might not because of Europe, etc.
Yeah.
And I think that second season of like, we did really well last year. They've brought in some good players, don't get me wrong. I think they're doing good business.
Yeah.
I'm unsure about that Alan St-Maximin. Like Newcastle fans like, no, he needed to go.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch him, I get like terrified seeing him.
Yeah.
So I'm always like different to that. Sandro Tonali's an unbelievable signing. Liverpool. Why don't I think Liverpool are going to make the top 4?
Well,
they've completely transformed their midfield.
We're both going to say their midfield. They've lost 2 big leaders of the squad. Not on the pitch
Henderson.
necessarily. Yeah. Oh, and hang on, give me a second while I think of his name now. He went to Brighton. And James Milner in midfield.
Yeah.
You're talking about 2 big leaders, really,
of
that centre midfield. Not necessarily on the pitch,
Yeah,
in the dressing room.
Yeah.
That's where your big leaders are.
Yeah.
And these two are.
Absolutely.
You've lost them. So I think Liverpool are a little bit weaker there, but they have bought well, and they're on the verge of buying another player as well.
Yeah.
They're my fourth team.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them in there because of the experience they've got. They can play in the chat. They know what to expect. And I think that's where they'll pip Villa and Newcastle.
Absolutely. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying like Villa's nailed on. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Liverpool. I wouldn't even be surprised if Liverpool finished second this year. But it's just saying like prediction-wise, I think, in my opinion, when you transform your whole midfield and you get rid of that hierarchy of players.
I mean, injury-free, they've got a hell of a strike force.
Yes, absolutely.
Injury-free.
But they lost for Firmino as well, and they have
yet
to really place somebody in there. They've brought in McAllister, don't get me wrong, fantastic
That's
player.
signing, isn't it?
Dominic Szoboszlai from Leipzig, again, I'm quite jealous of that signing. I think that's really good. I still think they need more of a holding midfielder to replace Fabinho now, which is probably what they're going to do. And that's where I'm like, at the minute, what they've done in the transfer window, I like it. There's still a few missing pieces. So as it stands, I think possibly 5th place, in my opinion.
I'm going for 4th.
4th place from you.
More experience.
Okay, what about the opposite end of the table? Who's going to go down? And now, when I was looking at the teams, this was the hardest part for me.
Oh, I've got a list here and I've got about 6 teams in it.
I genuinely think there could be about 8 teams who could get relegated.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's teams that I think are pre-existing Premier League sides who haven't done enough or anything in the window.
Everton.
They West
just
Ham.
striped up and they haven't done nothing. They haven't bought anybody.
No, West Ham. I don't think they've done anything yet.
They're scared to buy. They're scared to buy anybody. They got the money. They just got them in 110 million, and they're scared,
from
they're scared of bringing buy someone for 40 million. Come on, you've got to do something with your midfielders. You're going to be in the same place.
Yeah,
and they need a striker, I think.
Another one that I've highlighted, who I think will be a relegated team, is Wolves.
Definitely.
They sold Ruben Neves, they sold Raul Jimenez, they sold Nathan Collins, their best centre-back, to another Premier League side in Brentford.
They were in my bottom 3.
Who, Brentford or Wolves?
No, Wolves.
Yeah, they are. I've got them as second to last. Yes. They've also lost João Moutinho.
Yeah.
A quality centre midfielder who's just gone on a free transfer.
Just been ripped apart, haven't they?
That's their core, gone. Yeah. And they haven't really brought in a lot of players yet. They've brought in a couple of unknowns, and I don't know. Cunha is a risk that they've brought in and quite improving in the league. They're bringing back Guedes and Fabio Silva, but they need to perform and drag them out of a hole. I think Wolves could be going down this year.
100%.
Go on then, give me a team that you also think will be going down.
Crystal Palace.
See, I haven't got them going down. But
I'm saying they're going to be there.
Yeah.
I think the obvious one, and everybody's going to say it, and I feel so sorry for this team, is Luton.
I've got them staying up.
Have you?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. I believe Luton fans.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to see them stay up.
Yeah.
But I just cannot see it. They haven't got the strength. They haven't got the money, and I just think they'll just be blown away this season.
Do you know why? And I've wrote this down. I think they've actually done well, the signings they've got. Chong from Birmingham did well in the Championship last year, former Manchester United player. Nakamba from Aston Villa couldn't get in the team because of the certain players that were in front of him, and obviously they just bought Yuri Tillemans. They've also got Mads Anderson, which was a very good Championship player last season. I don't know what it is, but I just think Rob Edwards might do something and keep them up.
They've got a good squad.
Because they've also got a good goal scorer.
Yeah. And they can fight.
Yeah,
that's the thing about it. They all, there's no superstar.
Nope.
So they're all the same sort of level, and they'll fight for each other.
Yeah.
And they'll make it hard for every team that comes to their ground. Definitely.
Yeah. They'll make it hard for away fans to get in the ground.
Yeah. I think class always comes through in the end.
I know.
And I just think, especially away from home.
Yeah.
Can you see him winning anything away from home? Not very often.
I just believe. It's kind of like a miracle story. I just believe.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So.
And I think
you're going with Luton to go down.
Luton to go down, and I possibly Sheffield United as well.
Yeah. So I've got Sheffield United as bottom of the league. I looked at Sheffield United's team. They just sold their best player to Marseille. They haven't really brought in anybody else to replace him as we're recording this.
Yeah.
They're relying on an unproven Benny Traore, who they've just signed. So I'm a little bit like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
And when I look at their side, I look at Luton and Sheffield United's team together, and I think Luton's Championship team look better than the team that Sheffield United are bringing up. There's a couple of good players, don't get me wrong. Ahmed Hozic at centre-back, for instance, is a quality player. I don't know whether they have enough in the tank to survive throughout the season unless they start spending after getting rid of their best player, and I think that could be the difference. I think they're going down as bottom.
The three teams that I've got around that, so I've named Luton and Sheffield United. I reckon it's between Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so
that's the three teams that I'm going to put into that position for the third place as well.
I'm very similar. My 18th position is Bournemouth.
So I've looked at Bournemouth, and I think they've bought wisely.
They have, but the reason why I think they're going down is they got rid of the manager that kept them up.
Yeah.
They got rid of him, and I don't understand why O'Neill was sacked. They brought in a manager, and I think it's almost like karma is going to get you.
Yeah.
And I think that could be the reason. I think they're going down as 18th. That's my prediction. I think they have brought in well. I do agree with you. I think the signings that they have brought in, they could do quite well. But I don't see how you can replace that manager.
Yeah, I think it'll take the manager 2 months to get used to the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then I think just before Christmas and Christmas onwards, I think Bournemouth will come into their own and they'll start beating the teams below them.
Yeah.
Don't think they'll beat many teams above them, the big teams. But I think they'll beat enough teams below them to
for that experience that they've had last season.
And you got really good signings.
Yeah.
Where I think after the Christmas, we all know what happens after Christmas. If you start losing your games, all of a sudden, bang, you go down. And I think that's where the league will start changing then.
Yeah. The teams that I've got around the bottom half, I've got Luton as 17th. That's where I believe that they'll do it. Honestly, just do it. Crystal Palace 16th, West Ham 15th, Everton 14th. For some reason, I think Burnley and Forest are going to have great years.
Burnley have bought well.
Yeah.
I think.
And under Vincent Kompany,
they got a good manager there.
Blasted the Championship last year. I think they'll finish just the top half of the bottom half.
I think the good thing with him as well, when you watch them play in the Championship, it was like watching a Premier side team play in the Championship. They got away with it because they were class.
Yeah.
They won't get away with it so much in the Premier League.
No.
But I think they'll be good enough to get away with it, to stay in the league.
Yeah. Now, two teams that I think we haven't mentioned yet, which I think everybody will be curious to know about. We'll leave it to last. Chelsea to begin with.
Now, this is one of these things I would looked at for the top four, and I thought, don't. They've sold a lot of players, good players as well. I mean, all right, they've bought some players, but is it too soon? For the team to knit,
gel together.
You know, that's what my thinking is.
Yeah, because the team is unrecognisable compared to what it was under Tuchel.
I mean, he'll change that team for sure. He was a good manager at Spurs. He'll be a good manager at Chelsea, I think. But I think it'll take him a season, maybe half a season, to get this team clicking. And I think that might be just too late to get him in the top four.
If he's given half a season.
I think they should do.
Yeah,
they should do.
I've got Chelsea down as 7th place.
Yeah, I would agree around about that. Yeah.
Which is still a big improvement to what they were last season.
Definitely, yeah.
So I've got them in 7th place. Behind them, I've got Brighton and Brentford. And then, in 10th place, Spurs.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Dad, but if you do, and it looks like he's going, if you do get rid of Harry Kane, your season is screwed before it even starts.
We've been talking about it. Well, I talk about it all the time, dude, don't I?
Yeah.
I mean, I've written down here.
He cries in a little handkerchief to me.
I've written it down here. Look, 7th with Harry Kane, 12th or 13th without Harry Kane.
Yeah.
That's
so
how I think.
You're lower than what I'm going for.
Like I was just saying to you earlier, we're not even linked with a striker yet, and yet it looks like, as this recording's going out, it looks, I think personally,
Harry Kane's gone.
Harry Kane's gone. It's not definite, but it looks Bayern Munich are almost certain that they've got him.
Yeah.
And they're putting in buying clauses if he comes back to the Premiership. That tells me that he's going to go.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we would be nuts not to take 80 million for him.
Yeah. And the last year's contract, knowing that you'll probably not sign another.
Yeah, definitely. Me personally, I think he's gone. So I've stuck myself in 12th to 13th position.
And I think you'll be around there.
We haven't got a striker to replace him at the moment. No. I don't think.
The only reason why I've got them in 10th is I think the manager is actually quite good. Postecoglou, I think he is quite good. He's proven in other leagues that he is very much capable of doing incredibly well. I'm hoping that he can do that and transform that into the Premier League because I quite like him.
I think we're two or three players away.
Definitely 2 or 3 players away. I think what you've done in recruitment is not bad.
Yeah,
you highlighted the two.
We've got the new goalkeeper.
Yeah, they've got the goalkeeper, centre back, and obviously James Maddison being brought in.
I know we're looking at a Blackburn defender as well, young lad from Blackburn who's quite good. I think we'll get him as well before the season starts, so that's another position. Still need that striker though.
Well, there you go. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section on our thoughts or where you think you'll rank every single team. Thank you very much. If you enjoy these videos, let us know and we'll do plenty more. See you soon.